Most people think that you need an expensive design software or even have to hire illustrators before you can create a coloring book that you can publish on Amazon KDP to sell. Now, even though it's true that many tools out there would require you getting a paid plan in order to use, but what if I told you that you could create and publish your own coloring book from scratch to finish without spending a single dollar? Now, in this video, I'm going to be walking you through the exact free tool and steps I used so that by the end, you have everything you need to publish your first coloring book on Amazon KDP completely free. Now, the first thing we want to do is we want to get into the book specifications. Now, for the purpose of this video, our book specifications will be, our book cover type will be paperback, our dimensions will be 8.5 by 8.5, our bleed settings will be with bleed, and our page count is going to be 56 pages. Now, the first thing we want to do is we want to decide what is the title of our coloring book. Now, if you have a title already offhand, then that's great. And if you do not, you can simply ask ChatGPT to help you with that. So I'm going to ChatGPT and I'm asking ChatGPT, hi ChatGPT, I would like to create an A to Z coloring book. Could you give me title ideas for the coloring book? Now, ChatGPT has gone ahead to give us a lot, ranging from general and fun for kids to relaxing and adult friendly. So I'm going to go through it and see whichever is going to work for me. And if you are not comfortable with the results ChatGPT gives you, you can always go and say for ChatGPT to give you more, whether it's 10 more, 20 more, until you find the perfect title that you want. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be going with Alphabet Adventures. I just kind of like it. So now that we have decided our title, next thing is we want to start creating our coloring image. Now I'm asking ChatGPT again. I would go with Alphabet Adventure, which is the title I chose. Now I would like to use AI for creation of the coloring image. So I'm giving ChatGPT enough detail and I'm saying, could you give me prompts for the A to Z coloring images? The alphabet representation should be simple, like T for tree, F for fish, etc. Also, the prompt should have emphasis on bold and thick outlines since it is a coloring book. The images prompt should also represent cute and children-friendly images. Now, do note that when it comes to AI, whatever AI you are leveraging on, the more detailed you are, the better and the more well-refined your results are. So depending on whatever kind or whatever theme of coloring book you choose, whenever you're asking ChatGPT for any sort of results, you want to be as detailed as possible to make your work easier and faster. And now ChatGPT has gone ahead to give me the prompt template. You can see cute children's coloring image of blah 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 representing the letter blah, simple design, bold thick outline, no shading, no background, child friendly, cartoon style, easy to color. And this is the prompt list. So A for apple, and it has given us an example on how we impute it into the prompt template. However, as much as this is great, I was expecting a little bit more. Just like I said, because our prompt we are going to take into another AI tool to request for our coloring image. And of course, we want the prompt to be as detailed as possible. We're not going for so many complicated designs, but every itty-bitty detail must be represented in the prompt. Now, I'm going again to ChatGPT and I'm saying there should be at least something in the background. For example, F for fish, but the prompt should reflect an image of like a cute fish in water with bubbles and seaweed below, etc. So you can see the kind of example I'm giving ChatGPT so that it can give me something similar when it's giving me the prompt. And now ChatGPT has gone ahead to improve the prompt template, and you can see the prompt with the same ideas, cute apple hanging from a tree branch with leaves and grass below. So you can see it's much more detailed. Now that we have all our prompts ready, A to Z, next thing we're going to do is we're going to head over to an AI tool that is going to create our coloring images for free. Now I'm heading to this AI tool, which is iColoring.ai, and with this AI tool, without signing up, you can actually generate coloring images. So now we are given 10 credits before we even log in. So what we're going to do is we're going to judiciously make use of these 10 credits first. I'm going to click on this coloring page generator, and you can see they have the photo to coloring page. If you have a photo you want to transform into a coloring page, you can use the feature here. If you want to do a text to coloring page, which is the same as in our case where we want to give it a prompt and we want a coloring image from it. You also can do a name coloring page generator. Now I'm going to click on the text to coloring page. It has taken us to this point here. You can see where we're going to enter the prompt and we can decide the style that we want. We're also going to be able to change the size and generate. So each image that we generate, it's going to take 1 credit. So with this 10 credits, we can actually generate 10 images. And remember, we just want to generate 26 good images. I'm heading back to ChatGPT and I'm going to copy the prompt. Remember that this prompt is just a portion of this prompt template. So I'm going to copy this prompt template here. I do not need to add e.g. water with bubbles for fish and all of that. It's not necessary. I'm going to go back to this AI tool here and I'm going to paste it. So cute children's coloring page of an apple representing the letter A. Then I'm going to add the simple background environment fitting the object. So I'm going back to ChatGPT and the simple background environment is hanging from a tree branch with leaves and grass below. I'm copying that, heading back to this AI tool, and I'm going to go ahead and paste it here. Back to ChatGPT, I'm going to also copy this simple design, bold and thick outlines, no shading, cartoon style, child friendly, easy to color. I'm copying it and I'm heading back to the AI tool here and I'm going to paste it. Now I want to pick the style. Now if you look at the style, the images on this is just like an example of how the image will be when you choose that style. So you can see anime, you can see cartoon, you can see Lego and all of that. So I'm going to go with chibi because I want it to be a children-friendly coloring image, all looking cute. For the size, I'm going to be choosing 1:1. If you remember, I said that for the purpose of this video, our dimension is 8.5 by 8.5, which is essentially a square and also represents 1:1. And I'm going to go ahead and generate it 1 credit. It's going to take a while, just about less than 10 seconds, and you can see it here. So this is the image it gave us. It's not bad, but I'm not sure why there's an A in the apple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the prompt. So now I'm just going to adjust it and I'm going to remove representing the letter A. So I'm going to go ahead again and I'm going to generate 1 credit. So it has given us this and it looks pretty much okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and download it as a PNG. And I'm just going to go back and keep editing this full prompt that we have with the subsequent prompt. So I'm heading back to ChatGPT and it's going to be ball on a playground with grass and a few flowers around. I'm going back to this AI tool and I'm just going to edit that. So I'm saying of a big ball because I want the ball to be the center of attention since it's an alphabet kind of coloring book. So I'm generating 1 credit and it has gone ahead to give us this, which is looking pretty much okay. I'm going to download as a PNG. I'm going back again and I'm going to copy for C, a cat sitting happily on a mat. So I've pasted it here and I'm going to generate 1 credit. So let's see how it will turn out. This is looking cute. I'm going to go ahead and download it. Again, I'm going to do for the next prompt, playful dog in a yard with a little dog house and bone. I'm copying it and I'm just going to edit where the last prompt was put in. So I'll just take that out and replace. And I'm going to go ahead and click generate. So this is what it gave us. This is cute. However, the bone is in the air and it's in a horizontal shape, which I'm not really cool with. So I'm going to go ahead and regenerate it and see what it can give us. So I changed it to just big playful dog because I don't want so much in the background. So let's see what it's going to give us. So this is what it gave us and it's pretty much okay. So I'm going to go ahead and download it. Now we have about 2 track credits left. I'm going to go off the camera and judiciously use this tool, after which we're going to go to the next stage on how we are going to be able to get the rest of our coloring images. So I have finished using up the 10 trial credits that this AI tool has given me, and you can see we're down to 0 and we're still in F. However, in order for us to be able to generate more coloring images, we want to go ahead and log in. Now, when you log in, you get free 30 credits. So we have 30 credits extra to create 30 coloring images. Now, of course, you want to go sign up and log in. So now I'm logged in and you can see free 30 credits over here. And I'm just going to go ahead and continue generating more of the images. And I'm going to go off the camera and keep generating the images with the prompt template that we have. And after which, I'm going to come back and show you the images that have been generated and the next step we're going to be doing after that. So I'm done creating all of our coloring images, and we still have about 3 credits left. Now, the next thing is we're going to go and impute our coloring images, which we have generated from this AI tool, and collate them into Canva. First of all, we want to head over to Amazon KDP Help Topics, under which we're going to go to Format Your Paperback and Set Trim Size, Bleed, and Margin. We're going to scroll all the way to Bleed, because for the purpose of this video, we're going to be using Bleed for our coloring book. I'm going to go over to Bleed, and I'm going to click on the drop down here. Now, our book dimension is 8.5 inches by 8.5 inches. However, with Bleed, we're going to be using 8.625 inches by 8.75 inches over here. So I'm just going to copy that, head over to Canva, and I'm going to click the plus icon here, click custom size. I'm imputing the width and the height, and the units, make sure it's in inches. And I'm going to go ahead and create a new design. Now, Canva has given me a new design, and the next thing is I want to go and find the exact margins that we are going to be using for our book. Now, back to Amazon KDP Help Topics, I'm going to scroll all the way down over to margins. These margins are actually determined by page count, and our page count is between 24 to 150 pages, so it falls under this first row here. Then we have the inside margin as well as the outside margin. The inside margin is 0.375, and because we are using Bleed, our outside margin is as well going to be 0.375. So I'm going to go back to Canva, and I'm going to set that in. Back into Canva, these are what we're going to be using for our margins, and just in case yours doesn't have or yours does not show, what you can do is click on Files, go over to Settings, and click Show Rulers and Guide. You can see mine is ticked. Alternatively, you can simply click Shift plus R. That means hold down the Shift key as well as the R key together. Now, I'm going to go pull this ruler down until I get to 0.375. So I got 0.376. So you may not get the exact number, or it's better you use something close to it. And it's usually best that you use something higher than something lesser. Again, I'm going to do the same for this ruler over here. I'm going to pull it over to this side until I get something really close. Over here, I got 0.378, which is not bad as well. Now I'm going to do it for the other side. To make it easier, I'm going to head over to Elements, bring a shape, a square shape preferably, and I'm going to go fit that square shape into this place over here. So now that I've had it all fixed, I'm going to duplicate it and pull it all the way down. So now it's at the edge. I'm going to bring these 2 rulers to meet with it. So now that is all said and done, I'm going to go ahead and delete it. So this is just for one page. I'm going to delete this as well. I'm going to then duplicate it until we get to the number of pages that we want. And in this case, we are going for 56 pages. So I've gone ahead and duplicated it into 56 pages. Now we're going to start adding our coloring images. Now over to the first page. This is where we're going to typically put in our name page. I'm just going to put in a text over here and just write, "This book belongs to." I'm going to go ahead, change the font. I'm going to adjust the text color, change it to white. And I'm going to add effects, which will be outline. I'm going to make the outline to be black in color, and I'm going to increase the thickness. Again, I'm going to add a line beneath it, just where the owner can actually impute his or her name. I'm just bringing this one over here, and I'm going to pull it towards the edge. I'm going to make sure this is well centralized. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go to Project and Bulk, add all of the images that we downloaded. I'm creating a folder, and I can just name it Alphabet Adventures. I'm clicking Continue. I'm going to open it, and this is where I can upload our files, which is all of the images that I've gone ahead to create. So while that is loading, I can go ahead to start adding our alphabet. So after we finish creating our name page, the back of this page is where we're going to start adding our images. So this page is going to be where I'm going to be adding the alphabet. If you recall, this coloring book that we are doing is an alphabet kind of coloring book. So meaning that there'll be like an alphabet A, then we have the coloring image on the other side. So here's where we're going to add the alphabet, and the other side is where we're going to add the coloring image. Now I've gone ahead to add our coloring image that we've downloaded here. So first of all, I'm just going to go to text. I'm clicking on heading, and I'm going to add A. I'm going to make it as bold as possible. Again, I'm going to be changing the font. I'm using this font for it. I'm going to make the color white and make the effects, which will be outline. The outline will be black, and this is okay. I'm not going to make the thickness so much. So it's going to be as centralized as possible. So now I've added the alphabet A. I'm going to go over to the next page and add the coloring image for that, which in this case is apple. So I'm adding that here. I'm going to make it as bold and big as possible to fill the screen. Now after this one, I'm heading over to the next, and I'm going to add B. But instead of doing it all over again, I'm simply going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here, because that way I'm going to get the exact font size, and all I can just do is edit it. So now I have B. The next page is where I'm going to add what the coloring image for that would be. In this case, it's a ball. I'm going to zoom it out to make it as big and bold as possible. You want to make sure that the image that you're adding does not exceed the margins that you have created. So again, I'm going to go to the next one, and this time I'm also going to copy it, paste it here, but edit it and make it C. Now under C, I'm going to be adding what is supposed to be, which is a cat. I'm going to make it really bold. I'm done with C. I'm going to head over to the next one, which is D. I'm copying this as well. Back to the next, I'm pasting it here, and I'm going to make it D. Now for the D, I'm going to go ahead and add the next one, which is a dog. I'm also going to zoom this to be really big and bold. So this is okay, and this is how I'm going to continue up till the end of this coloring book. I'm going to go off the camera and finish it up, after which we're going to come back and see the result. Now, do note that in terms of your coloring book creation, you want to add a lot of effort in terms of the interior pages, because you are serving customers and you want people to give good reviews. You want people to get your coloring book and be pleased with it. So you want to ensure that you're putting a lot more effort. And if there's any image you must have generated that has any bit of distortions in it, you want to regenerate that image to ensure that the images are neat, they are clean, they have good outlines, and they are colorable. By the way, if you are finding this video helpful, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe to join the family, and do not forget to smash the notification bell icon so when next I drop a new video, YouTube will notify you first. So I've gone ahead off the camera to fill in all of the coloring images, and you can see how cute and beautiful it looks. And with this free AI tool, I was able to do complete interior pages of a coloring book, and you can see it's really looking amazing and really beautiful. Now, the next thing I want to do is, of course, we want to create our coloring book cover. Now, to do this, first of all, we're going to head over to KDP cover calculator, where we are going to determine the cover page size or the cover page dimensions. For the binding type, we're choosing paperback. Interior type is black and white. The paper type is white paper. The reading direction is left to right. Measurement unit is in inches. The interior trim size is 8.5 by 8.5. The page count is 56 pages. And I'm going to click calculate dimension. So this KDP cover calculator has given us the dimensions that we're going to use. I'm also going to download the templates. I'm heading back to Canva. I'm clicking create a custom size, and I'm going to impute the width and height and units that KDP cover calculator has given. So now this is a new design based off the dimension that we've imputed that KDP cover calculator had given us. I'm going to also add the template that I also downloaded. I'm going to extend it. It should be a perfect fit because I use the exact dimension for the page design. Now, the essence of adding the templates on the cover templates is just so that we're able to monitor places where we are adding, our images or text. So we do not add important elements in areas that risks being cut off, and just for proper organization, so we know how to centralize each part and also not put any important element where the barcode will cover it. Now we're going to create our cover page. And how do we do that? We're going to go back to that AI tool. But first of all, we're going to ask ChatGPT to give us a creative prompt for the prompt cover. So this is the cover prompt: cute and playful coloring book cover illustration for children, scattered playfully around the page. So I'm going to copy this. This will be our prompt just from here to here. I'm trying to keep it as straightforward as possible. Now I'm heading back to the AI tool. One good thing about this AI tool is when you click under the other tools, it has AI book cover generator, meaning that you can just input your prompt and this AI tool is going to give you a unique book cover. You can see some examples here. And I'm going to go ahead and input our prompt. Now you want to make sure that you are judicious with your credits so that you have at least some credits left in order for you to be able to create your cover page. I'm going to go ahead and alter the prompt as I deem fit. So I've adjusted the prompt. You may want to pause the screen right now to see. And I'm just going to change the style. For the style, I'm going to leave it at cartoon since we are doing like a children kind of coloring book. We're going to leave the size as well as 1:1. And I'm going to click generate credit. So hopefully this turns out really okay because we have just one credit. Well, I'm not really cool with what this AI tool has given us and we need more credit. However, in order to get more credits, we can decide to either wait the next day, that's when we get a new credit because like a daily check-in reward, or we can just do any of these tasks here. So if we just follow them on Twitter, we get automatically 5 credits for that. So which is pretty much okay and I can use that. So instead of using ChatGPT, I'm just going to be creative to add my own prompt. I've gone ahead to adjust the prompt and actually use this 16:9 and it gave us this unique image because I wanted it to be like the whole cover page together. And this is pretty much cool. I can also make use of this and do a little bit of touch up in Canva as well. So I'm going to go ahead and download it. I've uploaded it to Canva and I'm adding it to our design. I'm going to reduce the transparency because I want to see how it's going to look like. Remember that the book is going to be bent. So the front cover, this will be the back cover. It's not like they are looking at it horizontally, which is something we need to take note of. So I've gone ahead to just do a little bit of touch-ups. I just added this here, Alphabet Adventure, and I changed the font to this. And I just added all of this in the background, this alphabet. I used the effects of the outline and I reduced the thickness up to this point. And this was the color I used for the outlines, which gives it a unique vibe. If you want to add something like my coloring book, whatever, you can still do it so that people can know it's a coloring book. I'm going to change the fonts here as well. I can decide to add some effects like this over here. I'm bringing it down. This is okay. I can decide to make this bigger and a bit up here. And of course, centralized. I'm going to reduce this back just to see that it's really centralized where it is. So you can see the pink lines above. The pink lines indicate that any text or element you put there risks being cut off during the book's production process. So I'm going to make sure I pull the text downwards a little bit and I bring this over here. So this is looking good. We can also decide to put something at the back of it just to give an idea on the content of our coloring book. So I'm going to add this here. I'm going to reduce it and bring it over here. And I'm going to bring another box as well. I'm going to elements, bring a shape, and I'm going to change the color to white. This is where I'm going to add the alphabet. I'm adding the alphabet T over here. I'm going to make it really bold. And another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that it's all centralized on the back page. I'm going to add strokes around the box just so that it looks much more okay. I'm going to make it 3. I don't want it too dark. And this is okay. And once all that is said and done, we're going to move this image to the back in order for us to delete this template. Now you want to make sure that you take your transparency back to 100, and this is how it's going to look like. This is really beautiful. You want to make sure you put in a lot of extra effort when you are doing your cover page because that is what people see. especially this front part, the right side of it. That's what people will see. So it has to be captivating enough. So even if you have really good interior pages, if your cover page is not compelling or intriguing enough, people would not just stop to check your book out. And just like that, we have been able to utilize an AI tool to create both our interior pages as well as our cover page for absolutely free without spending a dime. And we can simply have this uploaded to Amazon KDP to start selling. Now, do make sure that you, of course, save your document or you save your design correctly. To do that, you want to click on share, click on download, change it to PDF print, flatten PDF. Now, typically, I will use CMYK because I'm subscribed to the Canva Pro version. However, since we are doing a video on how you can do this without having to spend a dime, if you do not have the Canva Pro version, it's still okay to download with RGB. And you want to go ahead and click on download. So just like that, you can be able to create your first coloring book and upload on Amazon, even if you do not have a dime at the moment to spend for any form of subscription. However, I must say, as much as this is great and I've been able to create both the cover page as well as the interior designs, which is super great, you need to know that this actually is not sustainable in the long run. Now, for example, now we've exhausted all of our credits, and let's take, for example, you even do all of the other tasks. You follow them on Facebook, Pinterest, Discord, and you get all of that 20 credits, which is super great. It is not still sustainable in terms of creating of other books when you want to create bulk coloring books. However, if you're an absolute beginner looking for how to leverage KDP and you just want to test it or you just want to create your first coloring book, this is absolutely a great idea and a good place to start. However, if you want to take KDP very seriously and build your KDP journey, you may need to eventually get an AI tool that would allow for you to do more batches, more credits, and for you to be able to create a lot of coloring pages. Unfortunately, this AI tool does not have a pro plan at the time. I think it's still in its testing phase. I'm not so sure. So even if you love this coloring tool and you want to do a whole lot more with it, you are still limited, sort of. However, there are several other tools that are also as well good and you can use to start your KDP journey and create as much coloring books as you want. And I have another tool which I actually shared, and with that particular AI tool, I actually used it to try to recreate a best-selling coloring book to see how innovative and how we can use that to leverage what is already working using our spin or adding our own unique spin on it. And if that interests you, you want to know more, you want to lean in more into your KDP journey, then you want to click the video you see on your screen right now and check out the full tutorial on how to use that AI coloring book generating tool. Ciao.